Have you ever opened LinkedIn, seen someone announce a new job, and instantly started rethinking your entire life?
Or had a normal Tuesday and one email made you think, maybe I should become a florist.
If that's you, welcome to Career Clarity and Pivoting.
Hi, I'm Claude.
And I'm Jess.
We are corporate employees by day, entrepreneurs by night, and work besties for life.
Join us as we explore how work besties lift each other up, laugh through the chaos, and thrive together in every industry.
Work besties!
Work besties, welcome back. Just Career Clarity and Pivoting, and we're doing it the Work Bestie way.
Which means we are not making big decisions alone, in panic or at midnight after one bad meeting.
This month, your Work Bestie becomes your sounding board, helping you sense check, dream bigger, and get honest about what you really want.
By the end, you'll have a simple decision framework, right? A mini scorecard and a few clarity experiments you can try this week, even if you're not really ready to quit.
Also, we're borrowing tools from 3 of the classics, some more book reports by Jess around working identity, pivot, and what color is your parachute. So we're not going to gatekeep. These are all books that we know are available to you all, but we are going to give you some tips and tricks directly from them to help us all as we think about career clarity.
One quick glance from working identity that you told me, because I didn't read it, but is that you don't think your way into career clarity. You test your way into it.
I love this book. For those who haven't read it, if you have the chance, pick it up. We'll obviously put it in the show notes. The thing that really stood out to me that's very unique is the fact that it doesn't make you feel like you have to just change on a dime. They are very succinct in how they give you these small little tests to try it while you're still in your current job. So many of us feel stuck, right? Because maybe we're a little further along in our career, making that dramatic shift to a whole different career.
Like, that's not easy.
Let's say I decided today that I wanted to go back into fashion consultancy. I don't think I could do it right away. And this book is suggesting that isn't the best approach, that you really do need to do these micro changes and test it out. So this isn't about a lightning bolt. It's not saying that there's one size fits all or prototype. It's really taking those little steps to test and learn. They call these possible selves. It's really testing out what is something you think is simple. Well, can you be something that you want to be more strategic? You want to be more of a leader, more of a creator, and then really finding ways either in your current job or in your ecosystem. So let's say you are a part of a church or a part of a charity. You can use those to test and learn other tactics and things that would relate to that new career progression that you're thinking of.
Okay, so if it's an experiment, you're going to do the experiment with another group to test your behavior, your goal, etc.
So I want to go from job A to job B. What are those different things that would make me feel more comfortably?
But before you say, for example, if you want to be more strategic, if you go to another, like your church or whatever, how can you apply that from your job?
So if you're saying that you're currently in a role where you're doing more methodical things versus you want to be more big picture, I would suggest then use a charity or a different function where you could lead a group. You are then the one creating the strategy. So you're the one who's coming up with the fundraiser and the idea for it and helping to establish that and test out if that's something that is a strong suit that you do enjoy. And if it is part of your strengths.
I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Thank you.
So this is what we would call the career clarity and pivoting is what you would call the messy middle. So let's normalize something. Most think that they're always going to love their job.
No.
And in the progression of your career, there are going to be harder seasons than other. And there will be times that you do say, I love my job. But there will be times that you will sit there and say, kind of hate my job. The part we want to talk about is whether or not that hard season where you decide that you're not happy in your job, is this a one-off feeling, or is this symptomatic of something bigger, as if you do maybe want a career change?
When it becomes, I hate my job more than I love my job.
Where your job is something that you just do to bide the time.
Yeah, so that's the messy middle. At the end of the day, where, you know what, you look at your job and you're like, that's not it. That's not what I asked for.
You almost feel achiness when you come home. So the goal isn't necessarily to convince you to leave your job. Yeah. It's not even really to convince you to stay. It's really, how do we help you stop the spiraling and start getting that data or the ideas of understanding what's causing the love and the hate of the job?
I like what you said. Is it a one-off or is it that's it? One of my favorite songs, Should I Stay or Should I Go?
Right.
Should I stay or should I go? So this is where you really think about it, and you're going to have like 3 shifts, right? 3 options: stay, shift, or go.
So you fit into one of those. And for stay, it would be something similar to saying, what are my boundaries? If I want to stay in this environment, how can I ensure I feel respected, that myself is present, I'm advocating for myself, and I still feel that there's a realistic path to grow?
And the stay is that because you still love what you're doing and you can see a light at the end of the tunnel that is, it shall pass.
So what about shifting?
Shifting is like same place, but a different deal. So more or less, it's going to be the job might not be the issue, but the conditions are. So what are the quick signs? For example, unclear ownership or scope creep, or your manager is not the right fit. We all went through that, and you're missing boundaries.
So that's where you would see that it's just not necessarily the job itself, but the ecosystem surrounding. And then the last one is go. This feels pretty self-explanatory, but it's that where you get to a place where the pattern does not feel stable, you don't feel like you're psychologically safe, or there is some elements of harm. So quick signs of this one is if you feel you're shrinking, you just don't have a voice in this role or this company anymore, that your health is really deteriorating because of it, you feel chronically disrespected, or those that are around you just feel there's no attempt or repair after all of the conflict that continues.
Yeah. And I want to make sure, because I had the example of go, because he couldn't stand it anymore. It is not a weakness to realize this organization is not for me. It's more hurtful than any other. It's not quitting, because sometimes people say, oh no, I should suck it up. It's my fault. I'm not. No, at some point, it's not going to be your fault. It's just a misalignment with your values and the company, and you just have to go. And you'll get much happier somewhere else. And they would recognize what you're doing.
And that's a sign that it wasn't the job itself, because if you're still move somewhere else and you're much happier, it was the circumstance or the ecosystem around you. The easiest sign for that one is your health. If dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety and you just feel constantly tired and run down, clear sign that it is not you. It's time to go.
Correct. So there are simple ways to stop arguing with yourself, which I have to say I'm very good with myself. I don't need anybody to argue. Me, myself, and
do it all on your own.
We are doing all of it. So there are about 5. One is respect and psychological safety. Am I being respected? Am I psychologically safe? Or am I happy to go there? But the other one is growth and learning. At the end of the day, we are all going to work. I mean, at least for me, to continue growing, but especially learning. Learning is so important. This is a big value for me. And then energy. That's a good one. Energy. Is it like draining me? Is this job draining me? Or on the contrary, is it fueling me? And again, it might happen that it's going to drain from time to time, but you have to look at the big picture. It's at the end of the day, is it fueling you? Values alignment. That is what I said earlier. And finally, future path. What are the realistic next steps?
So based off of these, what we're calling this is the 5 factors that you want to rate. And you would rate them 1 to 5. 5 being that it's at a heightened issue, and 1 being things are copacetic and fine. And the goal would be, out of all of these 5, if you were rating all of them a 5, then that is a sign you do need to change something. How do you calm yourself down and really make sure you're getting that 1 out of each of them? Because every single one of these needs should be met in a positive way in any job that you take. So the element for this would be, it's okay, as Claude mentioned, in some cases that your job doesn't necessarily fuel you every single day or every single week. It may drain you from time to time, but at the same time, you still feel like your values are aligned, or your future path and realistic next step are known and they're going to happen. Yep. So those mixed results is fine as well. That might just mean that you just have to monitor them. Is it a shift as far as there's new leadership and that's what's causing extra stuff that you maybe need to help reestablish boundaries? But if you do start to see that it goes back down the other way, you're fine, and it is still an element of stay. If they all stay high, then it's a real sign that it's time to go. It's definitely not an impulsive move. It would be a move to think about. And
let's not look at it as a test per se, but a mirror, right? It's a mirror about your path, what you're looking at.
Like you look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough. Gosh darn it, people like me. All right. So clarity comes from action. So our suggestion for this next thing is an experiment, right? We are not suggesting to do every single one of these experiments. We are providing you a multitude of them to try. So you have some ideas, because some of them you might feel more comfortable with, and some you might be like, that is just not me, and I would never do that. So try 1, or try a few, but definitely try at least 1. All right, the first one, experiment 1, is called the possible self.
So you pick 1 identity to test for 7 days. For example, strategist, builder, leader, or creator.
Right. So then you're going to find a behavior that matches it. 1 meeting you led differently. 1 fact that you created in a more storytelling way. 1 hard conversation you initiated. Think about whatever that identity is that you would like to work on, and you find a way to really move that needle.
Yeah. The experiment number 2 is the next move, or the pivot energy.
So this one is something that's going to take a little bit more time. We recommend about 30 minutes. And it's something you're going to want to role play with somebody. Okay. So you're thinking about a headline, and then the goal is to work with that other person to play out what's happening.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. So let's say I know that I'm about to walk into a meeting where I'm not certain on the outcome. It could go one of 2 ways. Claude, can you be the person that decides everything I say is wrong and come at me as if I'm wrong? So you would role play with me. Perfect. And then I know the next move, right?
Okay, awesome.
And
it's like playing chess.
Yeah.
We're just talking about
that offline. Or to your point, then I could say, okay, I got that one down.
Yeah.
I actually need you to flip, and I need you to be, you agree with me, but you don't see how I got there. Yeah. That type of thing.
Perfect. It's more or less, the goal isn't to quit, but to generate data, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. How can I ensure that no matter what I come into, I feel
comfortable?
Enough?
Yeah. Experiment number 3, the translation exercise, which is from that book, The Parachute Energy, which you're going to explain to me.
Thinking about what you would need when you're going out of a plane, right? You need a parachute. Your parachute is what saved you. So these are 3 reusable sentences that you would think about, that you would want to clarify that language to help you. So I'm strongest at, I want more of or for, and I'm looking for. So those 3, if you can visualize and use clear language as to what you need from these, Maybe it's networking, it's interviewing, it's internal conversations.
Yeah.
Those are the things that are going to help you understand if you should stay or should you go.
And then there's one that is actually a Work Bestie exclusive.
Ding, 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 ding. Not that we suggest you only do this one, but this is the best.
But this is a good one. The Clarity Sprint Protocol.
Yes, this is Work Besties, but you don't fix your life, but they're there to help you be true to yourself. So sometimes me especially will lie to myself, and I maybe talk myself up in different ways. And you can leverage your Work Bestie to help create clarity.
Yeah, we call this the Work Bestie Clarity Sprint, right? 12-minute, 3 roles.
So what we say is this one's similar to the other version where you're playing out the pivot. How do I understand the two different things that could come at me? In this case, you're now asking your bestie to role play 3 different styles, but it's quick, very quick. Again, within 12 minutes. So each style is like 3 to 4 minutes. You're going to ask for a mirror, a filter, and a spark. No advice. So it's different than that other one, which is 30 minutes back and forth where they coach you. This is just the conversation.
So for example, mirror, your bestie will say, you light up when you talk about that. Or you go flat when you talk about this. And then, so your work bestie needs to answer.
Right. So let's say you would say to me, like, you light up when you talk about facts or the newest book you read.
Yeah.
But you go flatline just when you talk about numbers. It's a nicer way of giving the strengths and the opportunities, let's say.
Yeah. Role number 2 is the filter. For example, is that a real constraint or is that fear doing math?
Think of this as your besties not giving advice, but challenging, right? So from what they're providing back, how realistic
you need to have a very good relationship on that one.
That's what a bestie's for. Right?
No, but that's good.
Right. Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, you and I do this really well. Sometimes and you can tell when I get stressed or annoyed by it, but I still let you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Other people I wouldn't even let do it. I would shut you down. All right. And role 3 is the spark. So for this one, what's that smallish action that gives you new information? And then, but you have to put a timeline on it. What would give you that newest information, since you guys listen to this on Mondays, by Friday? So you're really pushing your bestie to think of an action that they can do.
Such as what?
I don't know. What do you want to work on? What are you going to come at me?
Work on.
Yeah, what are you coming at me about?
Oh, I'm the one supposed to tell you what to work on?
When you're starting this 12-minute process, it's usually something that you want clarity on, right? Yeah. So I have a project I'm working on. I'm feeling stuck. So the first thing would be, well, what helps you light up? What helps you go flat? And then you would reflect, I'm seeing X, I'm seeing Y. And then the same thing from a filter or the spark. So Work Besties, our March community challenge is write down your perfect day. Not your ideal title, not your ideal job,
salary.
Just that ideal day.
Because at the end of the day, titles are vague, but days are real.
So the assignment, write your ideal day. If you want it to start from what happens in the morning throughout the midday to the end of the day. You want to include the pace of the day. Is it going to be a fast-paced day, slow-paced day? Does it vary throughout those time periods? Who are the people you're coming into contact with? How much of that is focus time versus meeting time versus creativity time?
Also, are you in the office or are you at home?
Right. Or a combination of both. Sometimes I start in the morning here and go into the office in the afternoon. Then circle the non-negotiable. So when you write all that down, then you can leverage your work bestie to say, hey, which part of this sounds most like me?
And which one sound like, who am I trying to impress? That's where you're going to really see your true you.
We look forward to hearing you all share some context back with us. Maybe we'll even share some of ours with you.
We should.
We look forward to that. And don't forget, this whole month is all around career clarity and pivoting. So we'll have a lot more for you to think about and for you to be challenged by, because we plan to build each week on everything that we're learning.
And here's what you can look forward to the next few weeks. Transition for women or a reset mode. And also, how do we pivot? I always want to say pivot, but how do we want to pivot without panicking?
March is about momentum
and not mayhem. So if you're waiting for clarity to arrive before you move, flip it.
And share this with your work bestie. Do that 12-minute sprint this week.
And keep supporting each other. Bye.
Remember, whether you're swapping snacks in the break room, rescuing each other from endless meetings, or just sending that perfectly timed meme, having a work bestie is like having your own personal hype squad.
So keep lifting each other up, laughing through the chaos, and of course, thriving. Until next time, stay positive, stay productive, and don't forget to keep supporting each other.